With talent and fame comes lots and lots of money. When looking at the world's rich and famous, it's hard to ignore the great athletes and sports stars around the world. These athletes boast some of the highest salaries imaginable, and as their popularity rises, so do their paychecks. Here today are the highest paid athletes on Earth. Let's get it on! It's no secret that high-profile athletes have monumental salaries. However, when you combine that with endorsements, sponsorships, personal business acumen, and other bonuses, these men and women make a staggering income. And most of them aren't afraid to spend like it as well. It's no wonder why almost every kid at some stage wants to be a famous sports star when they grow up. Let's take a look. Lionel Messi. The 31-year-old Lionel Messi is forward for Spain's FC Barcelona, as well as the captain of Argentina's national team, and today he's considered to be one of the wealthiest football players of our time. In 2017 alone, Messi made a staggering $111 million from his salary, bonuses, and endorsements, as reported by Forbes. Moreover, his current contract with Barcelona reportedly pays him $645,000 a week, up until the year 2021. So he won't be running out of pocket change anytime soon. Messi has also signed a lifetime endorsement deal with Adidas, which is estimated to be greater than $12 million per year. Nevertheless, Adidas isn't the only company he's doing business with. Huawei, Hawkers, Gatorade, and Pepsi are all big brands that want his name associated with them. He's even getting a Chinese theme park bearing his name, which is set to open in 2020. So how does the football star spend his fortune? Well, Messi has taken a liking to luxury cars. He owns a Ferrari F430 Spider, a Maserati Gran Turismo MC Stradale, and even an Audi R8, all worth hundreds of thousands of dollars combined. The mansion that this football player calls home is literally shaped after a football. Despite its novelty, the house is on a prime piece of real estate located outside Barcelona, which has a view of the Catalan Mountains and has easy access to a nearby beach. Of course, the property does include a football pitch, several of them in fact, just in case the mood to practice strikes him. Fortunately, he doesn't just blow his money on cars and clothes, but invests heavily in charitable causes. In 2007, Messi and his father formed the Lionel Messi Foundation, which helps vulnerable children around the world, especially those suffering from health conditions. What's not to like about this guy? Cristiano Ronaldo. For the year 2018, Ronaldo was the third highest earning athlete in the world, raking in a massive $108 million in just 12 months. Initially, his fortune came from playing football for Real Madrid. However, his incredible talent has resulted in him becoming the most popular athlete on the planet. With 324 million loyal followers across his various social media platforms, he is now a magnet for ridiculously high-paying company endorsements. Ronaldo's new deal with Nike will reportedly pay him over $19 million per year for the rest of his life. At that rate, the deal will reach $1 billion in total value by the time Ronaldo is 73 years old. A man with that kind of financial security can afford to spend big on his passions, and Ronaldo is very passionate about his car collection, which is worth well over $5 million. It includes a $360,000 Rolls-Royce, a Bentley, a Porsche, a Mercedes, a $300,000 Lamborghini Aventador, along with a Maserati, just to name a few. In 2009, he crashed a $320,000 Ferrari in Manchester, but quickly replaced it with some pocket change.
Destination 10 kilometers.
He currently resides in a $7.1 million villa in La Finca, an exclusive community in Madrid, when he isn't visiting his other mansions in the USA, Portugal, and England. Though he spends roughly $9,000 a month on designer clothes, Ronaldo does give back. Part of his income is donated to various organizations, as he frequently gives expensive gifts and donates thousands to charities, as well as good causes. Conor McGregor. The Irish UFC fighter and mixed martial artist has made an outstanding amount of money throughout his career in the UFC octagon, but his biggest payday by far comes from his boxing match against Floyd Mayweather. Even though he lost in the 10th round by TKO, Conor pocketed almost $85 million from that fight alone. Pretty sure most people would take a beating for that kind of pay. McGregor himself lives life to the fullest, with his lavish collection of cars, watches, and designer clothes, which he takes an opportunity to flaunt. McGregor is always dressed to the T whenever he's out on the streets and compliments his looks by always wearing expensive watches.
You the man. You are the man.
He also travels around in highly expensive cars, of which he has a big collection of, including Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Rolls-Royces. You would think that all of this cuts into his bank account. However, his coach John Kavanaugh reported, "It sounds weird, but he doesn't actually spend much money. Everything he wears he's paid to wear. Everything he drives is given to him. He's not into restaurants. His missus makes his meals. He's in a fairly modest home. He doesn't gamble." So it seems that while McGregor is one of the highest paid athletes, he may also be the most modest, at least when he's not on stage, that is. Floyd Mayweather.
They think they good. I know I'm great.
Floyd Money Mayweather is one of only a small group of elite athletes that have earned a whopping 10-figure sum since turning pro. Mayweather is an American boxer who competed between 1996 through 2015. Up until the point he retired in 2015, his career earnings clocked in at $785 million. Since 2006, Mayweather had become his own promoter, which allowed him to increase his earnings and control his fights. Nonetheless, in 2017, he came out of retirement, seemingly willed a fight to happen with Conor McGregor via social media, and then produced the biggest single payday in the history of sports, with his cut of the fight worth $275 million. With this final payout, Mayweather crossed the $1 billion threshold and entered the record books. Since he earns so much, he also spends with reckless abandon.
If I go on vacation, my fault. When I go on vacation for 30 days, I take 30 watches with me. If we add 10 more days, I take 10 more watches.
He has 2 fleets of cars, which include Bentleys, Bugattis, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and even an extremely rare Koenigsegg CCXR Trevita worth $4.8 million. He has 1 fleet of cars, all in white, stored in his Miami mansion, and his second fleet that are all black, which reside in his Las Vegas mansion. He only ever wears boxers once, a habit that costs $6,500 a year, and gives all his shoes away after wearing them a single time. When he travels, it's in his $60 million private jet, but he has his bodyguards and entourage fly on a separate jet, just to avoid too much weight. He keeps himself looking good with accessories like an $18 million watch and a $10,000 monthly haircut, despite not having hair. And he entertains himself with gambling and sports betting, with bets regularly ranging from $75,000 to $1 million. After going 50 professional fights undefeated, I suppose he's entitled to do what he wants, and I doubt anyone would get in his way to say otherwise. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the highest paid athlete of all time, with a staggering count of $1.85 billion. Interestingly though, Jordan only earned $93.8 million playing basketball with the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Wizards. He amassed his phenomenal wealth through unprecedented athlete endorsements, which has continued long after he retired basketball for good in 2003. Jordan has partnered with dozens of brands since he turned pro in 1984. His biggest backer has always been Nike, whose Jordan brand exploded for them and is now a $3.1 billion global business. Despite all of that, the investment which made him a billionaire was the $175 million price he got the Charlotte Bobcats, now the Hornets, for in 2010. Jordan now has a stake of 90% of the team, which is currently worth $780 million. Due to all this, Jordan is now making more money than any active basketball player despite being retired. Understandably, he's not left wanting for anything. He has his own private jet, and whenever he travels overseas, he brings a personal security team which costs him about $1,500 per hour. He spent $12.8 million building his dream house in Florida, in addition to a $2.8 million house near Chicago. He's also currently building a private golf course, just because he was annoyed by the pace of play at his current country club. He has his own fleet of cars, reportedly buying 7 Mercedes and Pontiacs in one transaction for himself and other family members. Despite all of that, Jordan's competitive spirit also carries over to the courtroom, as he has sued and won millions from companies unlawfully claiming his Jordan brand. He didn't keep all the money. However, instead he donated millions to 23 charities benefiting the children of Chicago, as well as donating $2 million to the Hurricane Florence relief efforts, and also pledged 2 large donations to community police relations after a string of police shootings. Michael Jordan tops today's list, and I sure bet it feels good to be the king. When looking at the highest paid athletes in the world, it's hard not to get envious of the incredible wealth they've accumulated. On the other hand, you can't say they don't deserve it, or that it came easily. When you're the best at what you do, you may as well get paid for it. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments which of these athletes you think is the greatest. Thanks for watching.